Hey, this is Lynn Brown. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell team and also an empowered living coach. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I spent the first half of my life people pleasing. And then in my spare time, I was so totally trapped by the opinions of other people. I mean, it was more like living in a mental prison. I was so afraid to be me. And then one day I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And if you've ever gotten to that place, if you can relate to what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I was just sick and tired of it. And it was that day that I was willing for the first time in my whole life to bet on myself. And it was so amazing because it was almost it was almost instantly, but when I began to change the way I was looking at things, the things that I was looking at began to change. And there's a quote like by Wayne Dyer that says, he said that, but it's so true. And I noticed things in my life began to change. And so now I'm just committed to spending the rest of my life partnering with people that want to be better. Just people that want to do more, have more, and be more. Because that's, I believe, what we were created to do. And today is no exception. I am just still in awe at how things work out in our lives. When you look for things, you find them. And a few days ago, I was doing my quiet time and my gratitude, which I start every day with. And for some reason, this little message popped up. It was a made for more post. I saw the hashtag made for more. Well, I'm a part of Rachel Hollis's group, and that's the hashtag made for more for her online community. And out of thousands and thousands, I think over 100,000 people on her page, there was this post, and it just caught my eye out of everything. Above all the noise, there was just this space, and I was captured by it. Anyway, and so our guest today on the podcast, her name is Hannah. I'm just gonna turn it over to her because she's gonna share just a little bit about herself. But I'm just telling you, we connected immediately from it. I am so thankful for her and just excited about the journey that we're both on. And so I'm not going to take away any more time. I'm going to turn it over to my new friend and sister, gritty sister, Hannah.
Lynn, it is such an honor. I am still so blown away by how we connected. When I put up a post on this online community sharing a bit of my journey, I didn't expect much of a response, and to come out of it with sisters and friends for life was better than I could have imagined. The post that I put up shared a bit of my journey over spending the last 10 months in hospital, battling my mental health with severe depression, complex post-traumatic stress, eating disorders, a whole myriad of things. And I have come out of that. I've spent the last 3 years in and out of hospital, and now after that latest 10-month stint, I finally feel like I'm thriving. I'm taking new opportunities, I'm working on myself, I'm growing, things are going well, and I'm just overjoyed, really. Lynn, when we connected, you talked about gritty women, and you talked about what that stood for, and the word that stood out for me was resilient. I love that word. I'm constantly working on seeing it in my own life, and I actually have it tattooed on my collarbone.
That is so cool. I think that is
I had that word tattooed on my collarbone about a year ago because I wanted a reminder to myself that that's what I wanted to become, and that that's what I wanted to see in my own life. And I think for me, resilience comes alongside tenacity and perseverance. That's something I always want to see in my own life. That's something I'm fiercely working on as much as I can. And that's what I believe that my challenges expose me to. They expose me to the opportunity to work on those qualities in my life. I think for me, resilience began at the beginning of my life. I was born at 25 weeks. I weighed 600 grams. I had to fight for my own life then. And I've had to fight for it as I've gotten older. I've had to fight for it now. And I think that my life has really shown me so far. I'm only 23, but just how resilient I can become. And so at 23, if I'm seeing resilience now, I'm so excited to see what that looks like as I get older, as I grow, as I keep going through challenges. I'm so excited.
I think that is so amazing. I'm just awestruck by the fact that, you know, that you're 23 years old and you have this awareness that a lot of adults don't even have. Honestly, 5 years ago, I had no idea about personal growth. I did not really know that you could change, you know, your circumstances. I just thought you had to adapt to your circumstances. And I had spent my whole life trying to fit into whatever was going on the outside rather than working on the inside. And what I'm hearing from you is that even the way you came to this world, it's like a learning model for you. That was like one of your first little success stories. And
Yeah,
you have used that now, or using that now in your own life. And you know, I hope today that some other viewers and listeners can understand that for themselves too.
and I think something that I love is the idea, and Rachel Hollis mentioned this the other day, but the idea that which lens are you going to look through life at? Is life happening to you or is life happening for you? And I think for me, I always thought, as you said, that I just had to adapt, that I just had to roll through the roller coaster. There was no control in it whatsoever, and I just had to survive. What I didn't realize was that I could actually thrive. I could learn to thrive. I could choose my perspective each and every day, and I could go, how am I going to get through this? And how am I going to be a better person because of it?
Wow. That is powerful. So yes, even though we do sometimes have to adapt at what life throws at us, it's
Absolutely.
still up to us to look within, to just grab those tools and those techniques and those things that we know to be true about ourselves. And
Yeah.
you know what I see in you right now is just this huge pivot. And I've been hearing this word over and over, this word pivot. And it's like you came out of hospital, as you say, and you have just you've made a pivot. There's been
Yeah.
this change, this turn.
100%. And, you know, when I was in hospital for a long period of time, I had doctors say over and over again, we don't know what to do. We've tried everything. There's nothing left. Like we're not giving up on you, but there's nothing left that we can do. And eventually it felt like I was backed into a corner. I was exhausted time and time again. Everybody around me was saying, we just don't know what to do with you anymore. And eventually, as you mentioned earlier, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it occurred to me, hang on, if I want change to occur, I'm the only one that can do that. You know, I can have people fighting for me, but I have to be the one to fight for my life. And so it was almost like a light bulb moment where I realized I can have people around me supporting me, but if I want things to change, I have to walk that out. And I have to get up each day going, what am I going to do today that's going to better me for tomorrow? And I think that's where resilience shines, because, you know, a diamond is forged through the fire. And so are we. You know, we can walk through the fire, whatever that looks like, and we can be burnt to shreds. Or we can go, no, you know what? I'm going to come out stronger. I'm going to come out greater. I'm going to come out fiercer. So what am I going to do today that makes that happen? And I used to wait for these things to happen and just hope that these qualities I aspire after would happen to be there. But then I realized, no, it's up to me. What steps am I going to take today to make that happen? And so it was a daily, moment by moment process of going, what choices am I going to make? What ways am I going to think? What am I going to outwork to make sure I come out more resilient?
Wow, well, you certainly just radiate resilience. And,
Thank you.
you know, it's so exciting to be now a part of your journey. And
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch daily as you discover, your purpose, and as you encourage, all those, in your influence. And
Thank you.
you are just, you are a diamond. You are a treasure to me, and to so many people too. But you have wisdom, beyond your years. And I just know that you were created for such a time as this. And you were built for this moment. And
Thank you.
you have an unwavering faith, an unwavering just spirit of resilience. And I know that the best is yet to be. So it's so exciting, to be in your life. you know I always like to find out, what in these let's just say last 30 days, what do you think is the greatest lesson when you look back over these last 30 days? What would you say if you had to pull out one gold nugget to offer our listeners today? What would that be?
I'd say it's mindset. I'd say it's waking up every day, committing to, you know what, this is how I'm going to approach today. These are the choices I'm going to try and make. And what do I want to learn from today? So rather than just walking through each day, getting to the end of each day and being consumed by whatever's going on in our minds, positive or negative, it's a choice at the beginning of every day to set yourself up and go, how am I going to approach today? How am I going to think about things? How am I going to bounce back from negativity or challenges or overwhelm? And how am I going to work through that? And playing an active part in setting that up and creating that before it needs to happen.
Wow, that's powerful. And I think it's just spot on, because you got to that place where your awareness was so obvious that you knew that the things that had held you back before were those things that were almost like in your subconscious, those things that you weren't aware of. And then when
100%.
you got to that place where you realized, I've got to be the one. The change begins with me. And so then when that just kind of like we always hear about, underneath if you picture a glacier, a huge glacier, and underneath you don't see all that part under the water, but so much of that determines our thoughts, determine our actions and behaviors. And so now you've become aware of those things that were holding you back, and you've broken through. It reminds me of the story, because we're both people, women of faith, and it reminds me of the story in the Bible of the guy that was by the pool for 38 years, and he was just waiting on his circumstances to change. He was just waiting for a wind to blow him in the water, or somebody to pick him up. And finally, it was like, okay, hey, dude, you got to get up. You got to pick up your mat and walk.
Yeah.
And when he did, everything changed. And
so many parallels.
Yeah. Yeah. So many parables are so true, and they're so easy for us to apply to our lives. And, but thank you so much. One thing I always like to do before, we hop off, is to give a call to action. I always want to offer something that maybe you are doing it in your life, or you're not, but you can pass it on if you already are. But it's a practice that truly has impacted my life in every way and changed everything. Because prior to my writing every day, my daily gratitude, I was consumed with shame and guilt just from my past. I didn't really know where it was coming from, or why I was holding on to it. But a friend told me that she had done this, and it had changed so much for her. And I started the daily gratitude, and I've done that for 5 years now. And I will tell you that it is the one thing that has increased the joy in my life. I mean, now I feel like the joy is just like it overflows in my life. And prior 5 years ago, that was just not the case. And I mean, I was happy enough, but it wasn't like the joy that I have now. So I want to challenge you. Are you up for a challenge?
Absolutely, bring it on.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna be easy on you. But I want to challenge you to write every morning 7 things. Now, when I started, I had to do, my friend told me to write 25. And so I wrote 25 things every day for a long time. But I want you to just start every day writing 7 things that you're grateful for and create that habit. You know, everybody thinks the habit's 21 days, but usually it takes a little bit longer than that. At least go 30. Once you get to 30, you're not going to want to stop. I have a feeling you're probably not going to want to stop, but it's just an easy thing that you can apply to your life. And it's an easy thing to share with other people. You know, when you come across somebody that might, you know, be struggling in some area or just, you know, having a rough day, just share that, just pass it on and offer that challenge to them. But, you know, again, I just want to thank you so much for your time and for, you know, just sacrificing your time today to pour into, you know, all of our listeners on the Gritty Women
Thank
podcast.
you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
You're so welcome. And I just have a feeling that you're going to be back on our show before too long, because we want to know what you're doing. I know it's going to be powerful and exciting.
Thank you.
And so I'm super excited.
I would absolutely love that.
We'd love to have you. And thank you so much. Take care. And to all of our listeners, you know, just remember that, you know, we are going to all stumble along the path sometimes and fall, but we're going to fall down 7 times. We're going to grit up 8 times. And we gotta get gritty, because it's, you know, this life is not for wimps. So I believe in all of you. I love you. And I look forward to seeing you next time.